What's going on, everybody? My name is Tamar Turner, and I'm the host of the Down to Business podcast, where the mission is to really provide exposure to businesses, entrepreneurs, and artists all around the world in their respective crafts. And we do so through audio and visual interviews where we come on and we talk about all things from getting into the business to most memorable moments to even some advice that you may give for other business owners and entrepreneurs out there. So if this sounds like something that you would be interested in, we'd love to have you on for an interview. Please be sure to reach out via any social media platform and we'll definitely get back to you. But until then, enjoy this episode. What's going on, everybody? I would just like to welcome you back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner. I'm really excited it's Black History Month. So this is just the time where, we get the shortest month out the year, but nonetheless, we make it happen all year round. We don't really need a month to validate our greatness and what we do and everything that we have going on. And so something that I, promised to my followers at the beginning of the month is that I really wanted to push a lot of content this month. So really been trying that. Like I said, I'm definitely going to give you guys 10 episodes. I'm not letting anything slow me down, no excuses. So we're going to keep moving right along. But I thank you guys, for the love. We've been featured on a couple business pages that we follow, and it's really just been a lot of love and support throughout, but especially this month. So we're enjoying it and we appreciate everybody out there. So really excited to be sitting down with this gentleman today, Keon Marsh. We were actually connected via Clubhouse. And so that's something that, like I said, I'm really going to be advocating for, just because it's really been a great avenue to me, a great way to connect and network with like-minded individuals and really be able to bring on some talented people on the podcast. So Keon was somebody who we joined the room similar, and after kind of giving my pitch and hearing everything that he had going on and everything, we were able to connect via Instagram. And then kind of just, some time kind of got past, but nonetheless, we were still checking in with each other, still following up with each other. So telepathy was definitely bringing us together. So I'm really excited for him to, come on and tell you guys about Millennial Finance TV on some platforms and then Millennial Finance Network. So Keon, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing blessed, man. Can't complain. Appreciate you for reaching out and allowing me to get on the, Down to Business podcast. So just want to say thank you for this opportunity, man. How are you?
Man, I'm always good. And it's always, a big you're welcome to you. And I even want to say thank you to you, for taking time out of your schedule to, come on, make the vision really possible and really just keep doing what you're doing and the value that you're providing. I think a lot of people are going to get a lot out of it. So can you just tell us, for the people, tuning in who may know you, for my listeners tuning in who really may not know you, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and then what brings you on the podcast today?
Yes, sir. So as he said, my name is Keon Marsh. I'm from Queens, New York, a life insurance broker. I started about 6 to 7 months ago, pandemic time. I was down bad. I was interning as a strength coach in Texas. That's what I went to school for, and I still have a passion for that. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and I knew that being in the life insurance industry, that it's a recession-proof business. It's something that people will always need. People are always going to die, so people will always need help preparing for that. Or if somebody wants to prepare for investing in using life insurance as an investment tool, the education and preparing for the death aspect part just made it something that's a necessity in life. So my brother was already in the industry. I decided to join. I'm the type of person, when I do something, I got to do my full investigation. So I went all in and learning about everything I could possibly learn about life insurance. And ever since then, it's been a blessing to be able to protect families, to be able to pass on this information to the people that don't know what it is, people that don't know how it works, or the people that have just misconceptions, misunderstandings about exactly how life insurance can be beneficial to their heirs, to their family, even to, like their assets, or just whatever it may be that they want to hold on to. Life insurance can provide the capital or even the death benefit proceeds when you're not here to take care of that. So it's been an amazing journey so far. And Millennial Finance is just an extension of us. My brother. Shout out to Akeel. Shout out to Tristan. Those are my boys. We do Millennial Finance, the Millennial Finance Network, and we just pass on the knowledge and education to our community. And the hope is that we just continue to grow and grow in the sense that people tune into what we're saying, because there's a platform for a lot of things nowadays, and the pandemic has provided that opportunity. EYL, they have their stocks, they bring on a lot of entrepreneurs. Prince Darnell, talking about jumping jack tax. He just dived into life insurance. So that's a space that a lot of people don't talk about it. He talks about it. We're now talking about it. So I think it's all perfect timing right now. Yeah, what brings me on? Just wanting to be able to build connections. Like you mentioned, Tamar, you reached out to me. I was actually gonna reach out to you, but you did it first, so you beat me to the punch. And I'm just on here, just want to build, pass on the knowledge that I've acquired. And, I know it's something that people will be grateful for, because when the opportunity was passed on to me and the information that was out there that I learned, I was grateful to learn that as a young 25-year-old who never thought about life insurance, who never even knew anything about finances from a year ago to today. The amount of information that I know and the things that I've put into place is really just a blessing. So I'm just thankful for this opportunity, and I just want to spread the wisdom that I've acquired.
Absolutely. And I really agree with a few things that you said. One thing, just dating back a little bit to earlier in your response, was just how about whenever you're introduced to a new avenue, just something, a new skill set, just a new idea, that you have to do all the necessary research and everything that entails, before just jumping into something. I really think
Right.
that that's important with a lot of things. Granted, sometimes the people who may have introduced you to said opportunities or to have bring these things to you, trust them for sure. But at the end of the day, everybody is different. Everybody's perspective, how everybody, kind of hones in on things, and what they honestly, what their likes and dislikes are, what their preferences are, can be different. So what may work for you, what may be enjoyable for you, somebody else may kind of feel the opposite, and vice versa. So I definitely do feel you on that. And then I really just love, the humbleness, the gratitude that you have for, but now it doesn't really stop there, but then you want to just pay it forward, just be able to pass it on to, generations ahead of us, generations before us, everything like that. I really think that that's important a lot of days, especially with everything that is going on in the pandemic. I feel like a lot of people, were made themselves available. Some people had to make themselves uncomfortable, but everybody, was able to gain new resources. We were able to start new programs, new networking opportunities. But I think that it's important to, be able to share these connections, be able to, bask in the excellence, and not just, keep it for ourselves or keep it secret
Right.
or confined or anything like that. So I love that. So just in hearing about, the journey and getting together with your boys, and really starting this thing, something that really stood out to me was, what was it like, really just being able to meet these individuals, being able to have these individuals in your life, but also then being able to realize that these individuals are like-minded just like you, and then being able to go on and start a program that can really impact generations to come.
Man, that's a great question. I'm always intrigued by great questions. I just think that, the better questions you ask, I feel like it says a lot about the individual that you are, man. But Akeel, that's my twin brother. So there's a lot of like-mindedness from the womb. Tristan, that's a friend of mine. We met in high school. And, me and my twin brother, we went to college together. Tristan, he went to another school in New York. Me and my brother went to California. So, we parted ways, and then, we came back when we decided to become entrepreneurs. My brother decided to get into the life insurance industry. Tristan, he's a real estate agent. So he was doing it before all of us. After he graduated, he bought his first property. So he was doing it for a while. And then I came in last into the entrepreneurship space. And then we all started working as life insurance brokers. And we realized that this was something that people needed to hear. We were hearing a lot of crazy stories, people dying, and people, starting GoFundMe's, passing around a collection plate at church. There was a lot of things happening in our community where we realized there was a gap. And I think that we just needed to be the individuals to bridge the gap. So, we just came together and we were like, we need to step into this space. It's so funny because we were like, we're going to drop our podcast the beginning of the new year. And as we were going to drop our podcast, Prince Donnell started talking about life insurance. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy, because we thought we were going to be the first ones. But, it's all right, though, because, it's just something that we all need to be exposed to, because I feel like when there's an area that no one talks about, you have to be the one to step into the space of the unknown. Like when you step into something that's unknown, you don't know what's going to happen, but you just have to remain faithful, because nothing happens overnight. Like your podcast didn't grow to the following that you had overnight. So you just have to step into that space and keep pounding away. So we believe that ultimately, if we continue to, push what it is that we believe that is vital to our community, it's vital to us, because it'll now give families a financial head start. People can now have a peace of mind knowing that if they pass away, they can pass on their income for about 8 to 10 years. They can leave behind something for their child if they want to open up a business, or they can put their money somewhere where it can now, grow a certain percentage, and they can take it out at a time when they need it the most. If somebody gets sick, they can, still keep the lights on in the house. So there's a bunch of different things that we've learned. And, we just all felt that it was real selfish to keep it to ourselves. And why not, broadcast it? Like I just looked at my phone before we started, and somebody said, yo, I love the information that y'all are giving out. And I'm like, wow, so what we're doing is making an impact. So that's really how it all came together.
That's love to hear. That's love to hear. And I'm gonna keep echoing it throughout the interview is that it's really just important as people, but specifically as minorities, as African Americans, to to want to better our communities around us. This information wasn't stuff that happened overnight. It wasn't stuff that was learned overnight, and it wasn't even something that sometimes we had to take an extra step to go get the information. It wasn't ingrained in us. It may have not even be passed to us via another person. You may have to go out and read it, go out and find it. But I just think that to keep it to yourself, like you said, is very much selfish indeed. No matter how hard you had to work for it, no matter how you had to go about ways to obtain it, I really just think it's important, and it really just shows that selflessness aspect in yourself when you want to, just make everybody else better, because you don't know what could really come from this. What could, by you learning something, or by your twin brother, or by your good friend learning something, and they passing it on to one of their connects or another friend, what they could do with that information, what connect they could have on the other end that could really, propel things. Or hey, so and so, I read this, or I watched one of their videos and I learned this, and now look, I think we can get
Right.
this started. Let me hit them up. So it's just like you never really know from what, but you're keeping this, you're confining it to yourself, and you really could be blocking a blessing. And I think that's something we don't realize that we do so much, like many times more than not. So I would definitely say, like, just in thinking about, specifically with insurance, I'll be the first to say that I had a really big misconception about it. I was just thinking I didn't really need it, till I got older. I'm gonna be
Right.
okay. I've always been healthy. I played sports, but I've always been good. Never any major injuries, knock on wood, for sure. But now that
Mhm.
I've kind of got to high school, got to college, matured a little bit, seen things happen, had those necessary conversations with my peers and people around me, I understand how vital and how important it is. So, what was it like, coming into the finance, into the insurance industry, and really just having to hear all these misconceptions, but having to combat them, to really get these people the necessary and vital information?
That's a good question. So I would definitely just say you have to understand that you've been there before, so you have to know how to, I would say, empathize with people, because there's like 2 years ago, or even a year ago, before I started doing what I'm doing, I never thought about life insurance, like not once. That didn't cross my mind. I'm thinking like you get that when you're old. So now when I go to my friends and tell them about what it is that I do and let them know that this is something that you need, they have that same outlook. Like, why do I need life insurance? Growing up, I only heard older individuals talk about life insurance. Why am I 25 seeking to get a policy? So what I realized is that I had to put things into perspective, right? Because in life, people only move, force them to move. So you have to, pretty much let people know that, hey, this is something that'll protect you for the unexpected things that life can throw at you, because life doesn't say, hey, you know what, I'm going to wait until you're 89 to remove you from this earth, right? God has a plan for all of us. So whenever it's time for him to take us home, right, that's what's going to happen. And he's not going to knock on our door and tell us in our sleep, right? So he gives us wisdom as well. So I believe that it's really just down to, the individual to receive the information and really just, maybe put their pride aside, or maybe put what they've been hearing for years aside and say, you know what, let me expose myself to what you're saying, right? By opening up my ears, really digesting it. And then, for me, as the person that's trying to get them to, pretty much just taking what I'm saying. Like I said, I have to empathize with where they're coming from. I have to know that I've been there before, but I also know that it's my duty to fight for their family, because sometimes people just don't know any better, right? They just say, you know what, yeah, I think it's a scam, or, yeah, I don't need it. I'm young, I'm healthy. Like all those great things that you said, like I've said it before, we just have to let people know, and, just tell stories. Stories make people understand that this is a real, right, this is a real life thing, right? There's people that are young that are passing, like, rest in peace, two young individuals that I grew up playing football with. Well, they was a little bit younger than me. They died, and they were both under 25. One died last week, another died the second day into January, right? Now, what if they had life insurance policies, right? They could have left behind something for their mother. But now, what if they didn't? Now they have to go, start a GoFundMe and all these different things. So it's all about just preparing for what we don't see coming. Like, no one expects to die at 21, 20 years old, but anything can happen. So it's just about understanding what can happen and how you can be prepared in the event that something does happen.
Man, that's my condolences first and foremost, just to the lives lost, and definitely sending my prayers to you, the families involved, and everything like that. But it really just, wow, that speaks volumes when, you just say, what if, had they been taken care of? And I even saw a post on the Millennial Finance TV page about what if our great grandparents and grandparents had life insurance, and I just wow, mine was just blown instantly just to think about, yeah, just how the families could have been taken care of, how,
Yeah,
certain things that we look at now that we need and that we want for, what if we had this set up for college and businesses and different things like that, how this all could have, came full circle had we really just been educated, had we really known that. So I definitely do encourage everybody out there, everybody listening, whether you not know anything about life insurance or where to start or anything like that, to definitely tap in with Keon, definitely tap in with Millennial Finance TV, Millennial Finance Network, and really, and even pose some questions to them. I'm pretty sure, they want
yeah,
to answer everything that they can, provide the useful information, provide all that content. Definitely check out their podcast, which I'll make sure I include in the bio of this episode and everything like that. So something that kind of comes to mind just in, going through your page and seeing the content that you guys do, from the reels to the IGTV, just to the videos, to the interactions, and how interactive and creative you guys get. Where does a lot of this, motivation come from? Where do these ideas come from? Because I will say you're doing something that's kind of hard. You're, conveying information to people that's not the easiest to understand, nor, is it the most interesting. Like, granted, this is
right,
about life and death here, but when it comes to like money and different things like that, people aren't always open to have those type of conversations. They really, want to keep things personal. And then, when it
right.
comes to life or death, people don't think that way. They're not really, they may be prepared for the worst, like in their head and everything like that, but they're thinking, hey, look, I'm okay, I'm doing well, not
Mhm.
being naive to death, but just not
Right.
having that at the forefront of their mind. So where does a lot of the motivation and where does a lot of, the creativity and ideas come from when you guys are putting this content out there and trying to, be as creative as possible, but also convey the necessary and essential information to the people out there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So a lot of it just comes from, us brainstorming. Keel and Tristan, they have some great ideas. Those are some smart individuals. I give it all to them. I'm more of the brainiac and want to be real philosophical and technical. That's me. But I give it all to them. My guy Tristan does the reels. I think whenever you're creating content, you have about 3 seconds to keep somebody attentive to what you're saying. So if we can, make a dance and add a song to something that's educational, that's informative, I think that it raises the person's curiosity that's taking a look, because now they're going to say, oh, what is an index universal life? Okay, what is a term policy? All right, what does it mean to build equity inside of a life insurance policy? All right, so we're just trying to get people to we just want to create a spark for you to go on Google, create a spark for you to ask us a question, create a spark for you to just go on our podcast, look at another post, because all this is going to do is going to continue to make you want to learn more about what it is that we're saying. So I think that that's really just what it comes down to. We want to find ways to connect with people in a way that, that it doesn't seem too far fetched. If there's a new song out and with a new challenge, we're going to make a reel about it, right? If there's something that we can tie into it, if we can make an analogy so that people can, understand more of what we're saying, that's what we want to do. Because I feel like before anything, you have to be able to make a connection with people, and I feel like we underestimate how easy it can be by overthinking it. But I think we're just doing our best right now to just make those connections, with the people. And as you said, it's a topic that's not much talked about because, in the Black community, I said this before, people want to get into a better financial situation, but nobody wants to talk about their finances. It's kind of crazy, but it's true. Like, so we just want to put things out there and make people, like, just let everyone know that, hey, it's okay not to be where you want to be, but here is how you can prepare yourself to get to where you desire to be, and also put your family in a better situation, because you don't have to get to where you desire to be. You don't have to be there already physically. You can be there in your mind, but there's steps along the way. Because even me right now, I'm not where I want to be financially, but I know that what I'm doing will eventually compound over time to get me to where I desire to be. So I think that, we just want to create a community where it's okay to talk about your financial situation. It's okay to ask your friends, yo, you got life insurance? You do? All right, cool. You don't? All right, we got to fix that. All right, we're not just be about to be out here running around with 2, 3 kids and no one has life insurance. And then, if I don't ask you, is I want it to be where if I don't ask you if you're my friend and you don't have life insurance, there's a problem. Not to be like, yeah, I'm gonna get it later. Nah, because tomorrow anything can happen, right? So we just want to create a atmosphere where finances is something that there's more emphasis on, because I say that's the foundation, right? At the foundation of every home is faith and finances, right? Your faith is good, but if you can't pay the bills, that's going to affect everything else. You're going to be stressed out, going to be depressed. A lot of different things are going to be happening within that household. But now, if you take a look at Millennial Finance Network, you take a look at all these other avenues on Instagram, because I think Instagram is a great educational tool right now. 25 years from now, you don't have to be in the same predicament that your father's in or your mother's in, just by exposing yourself to it, talking about it with some people, right? Because that's how you grow, connect, learn, build, and then now you'll be in a better position a couple years down the road. So I think we're just looking to create an environment where finances is something that we can all open up about, we can be transparent about, and then we can all seek to elevate each other by saying, "Here, boom, that's where you go for your stocks. That's where you go for your life insurance. That's what you can go for your estate planning, your wills and your trust, right? That's where you can go to get your credit repaired, right? And all those things are key. So I think that's really the vision that we have right now.
Yeah, I really think it's so important to be able to want to facilitate that conversation. I think that's exactly what you guys are doing, from the content to just the information out there to just how you guys are going about things, putting it on different avenues, different platforms, different ways. People, everybody, retains information in different ways. As we spoke about a little bit earlier, what may work for one person may not work for the other. So I really do love the diversity, love the ideas, love the brainstorming that you guys are doing. And I definitely will encourage you all to, keep it up, because I definitely think that it's important. And I think that is something where it's really never too late to want to take control of your life from the life insurance aspect, or to take control of your finances, and to really want to gravitate towards that, and to really want to have a hold on them, so that for years to come you're not worrying about them. You can have family and you can incur other expenses and not have to worry about where is this money going to come from, or how can I pay this, or worry about living paycheck to paycheck, or just learn about budgeting and saving and planning. It's just so crazy how learning about one thing or just exploring one avenue can open up so many different,
Yeah.
so much different knowledge and just possibilities. So I love that. And so something that even leads me into is just with everything out there, with information, changing, with things updating, with there just being such a vast amount of resources out there to
Hmm.
go to. What are some things that you guys are looking forward to, covering this year, honing in on this year, as we, embark on kind of, we're still in the beginning stages of 2021. So is there anything that you guys are kind of excited to put out there for content, or anything that the people out there should be looking forward to?
Yes, yes. I would say definitely look forward to us, creating more videos with, our actual faces showing. I think that people are more receptive when they see you, and not just like a post or thing like that, or things like that. But we're gonna put out more content with us showing our face, us being ourselves, so that people know that we're people, we're relatable, right? We look just like you, right? And we've been with in that state of mind where we didn't know. So I'll say definitely look out for that. We're gonna be consistent every single week with our podcast. We're going to post a podcast every single week about something pertaining to life insurance. We're going to be looking to bring on different people, talk about stocks, credit, wills and trusts, everything as it relates to finances. Right now, we just want to hone in, even real estate, because I got Tristan. He's a real estate agent, right? He has 3 properties. He knows a great deal, and we all have different connections. So I would say right now we're just going into life insurance because, like I said before, that's a room that a lot of people haven't stepped into. So we're in that room right now, and we're fixing it up, right? We're putting in new mattresses, right? Different things like that. So we just want to create that space where people know that we're credible. We know what we're talking about. And then we want to bring on other people. So it's a platform where you're not just learning from us 3 for a long period of time, but you're learning from other people as well. So we want it to be a space where we're literally just funneling education and letting people know, hey, this is a place where I can go and I can learn about anything as it relates to finance, e-commerce, trucking, like I said, stocks, credit, real estate, all those things we're going to take a deep dive into later on. But right now, we just really just want to focus our energy on life insurance, because even right now with the pandemic, a lot of different things happening, people falling out. This is super, super critical. Like, one thing that we're driving home is the idea of living benefits. So here's the thing. Let's say somebody has a critical, chronic, or terminal illness. In the event that you have a critical, chronic, or terminal illness, let's just say you have a death benefit of $100,000. Some companies will give you a cash advance of 100% of your death benefit, meaning they will give you a check of $100,000. So now think about it. Let's say someone has a family, or they have a family and a business. Right? COVID-19, business shuts down. Let's say they get a critical or chronic illness. So now their business is no longer generating revenue. So there's not much income coming in, right? But On top of that, they're sick. So now we have to think about that's rent, that's groceries, that's miscellaneous things, stuff for the kids, and they have business, and they have astronomical medical bills. Where are you gonna get all the money to pay for this? But a lot of people don't know is that you can actually leverage the power of life insurance. Now, if you have a life insurance policy, you can put in a claim and let them know, hey, I have a critical illness, had a heart attack, had a stroke, boom, I had it today. And after the 90-day waiting period, if you're still suffering from this heart attack, they will, they call it an accelerated death benefit. So they will just give you a portion of your death benefit based upon your life expectancy, right? And now you can literally get a cash advance of up to 50,000, 75,000, depending on how much you have in coverage. And it's tax free, and you can use it for whatever you want. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't understand, but it's very, very powerful. And even if you have a cash value life insurance, right, you can take a loan against your policy, right? And this is something that can literally work as a bank, right? But it may seem, kind of confusing to people, but it's really, really simple once you just understand the root. Like, it's just different ways that the life insurance company gives you the option to cover your life. We call that living benefits, right? When you have the option to cover yourself in the event that you get a critical, chronic, or terminal illness, and they give you the benefit of utilizing the cash within your policy, right? Within those cash value life insurance. So living benefits are super, super key. I believe it's something that everybody should have, no matter if you're 21 years old or 50 years old. If you can qualify for it, you need to get it, because it's something that's super big. And tune into our page. We've been driving living benefits home. We've heard a lot of crazy stories about people who needed it, who didn't want it, but something happened. It's like, oh, can I still get life insurance? Like, the life insurance is not going to cover you if you now, develop cancer. You can't have your cake and eat it too, right? That's something I was thinking about earlier, right? When it comes to the world of life insurance, you can't have your cake and eat it too, because it's all about risk exposure. They're not going to expose themselves to a higher risk, right? I'm not going to give somebody that I know will never give me my money back. I'm going to give somebody money that I know, hey, right, no matter what, they're going to give me my money back. So why would I give my money to somebody, right, that may die in the next 6 months because they had cancer? So you want to lock in your rating when you're healthy, right? Because right now, a lot of people say, yeah, I'm good to go, right? So now get a policy now, because 5 years from now, we don't know what's going to happen, right? My brother sat with a young lady, I believe she's 25. Yeah, she's either 25 or a little younger. And she said, yeah, I'm going to the doctor to see if I have cancer, right? Something a lot of people don't think about, but we never know what can happen. So I'll say, lock in your rating now, right? Look into living benefits. Go on our page, tap, click on the reels, click on the IGTV videos, see exactly what it is, do your research, comment, get in our DMs, just so you can learn more, right? We're just looking to, pass on everything that we have. We want to empty it to our community.
Come on now, if you didn't if you didn't learn something, if you didn't hear something that you have a question about, if something didn't stick out to you in that answer, if you didn't go click follow, if you didn't subscribe, and then I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds now. I just gave y'all a couple of seconds. Go do it. Go type the name in the search bar and everything like that. Definitely, tap in with him, because it's a lot of information. I even just learned some things, and it's so much just value out there that you can just learn just from scrolling a page, just from reading some of their posts, just from tapping into some of the episodes of the podcast. I really think that is vital. It's essential. It's never too late. It's never too early. So as a community, as our people, Keon, and his brother, his people, his close friend, they're putting the information out there for us. So big shout out to y'all. Big shout out to everything that y'all doing, the value, the gems, the selflessness, because it takes a lot to be able to get this information, then, understand it, learn it yourself, relay it back to one another, and then be able to, then go put that out in the form of some content. So just before we wrap things up, for the people out there, for everybody out there, just looking to find you via the podcast, via Instagram and other platforms, can you just give us the list of your socials and the website and everything so that everybody can go tap in with you guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're on Instagram, Millennial Finance TV. We're on Twitter, MFN TV _. We're on TikTok, Millennial Finance Network. Working on our Facebook page right now, Millennial Finance Network. That's going to be up and running very, very soon. We're on Apple, Spotify, all streaming platforms except for Tidal. Millennial Finance Network podcast. You can go like, share, pass it on to a friend. This is something that everyone needs. I like to say life insurance is just as important as oxygen, right? If you have somebody, if you have at least one person in your life that you love, you need a life insurance policy. Now, in the event that you don't, if you love yourself, you still need one because it can benefit you. So I think that is something that everyone needs in some form. And you don't need a whole bunch. You don't need $1 million policy, right? So it's all about finding, exactly what you need. And, every case is unique to the individual. So I would just say go follow us, go like, share, comment, subscribe. Definitely tune in to what we're doing. And yeah, that's it. Millennial Finance Network. We're about to, do it big for 2021, God willing, and I'm excited for what's ahead.
I'm excited too. I'm excited, that we were just able to connect. Excited that I was able to, that we were still just able to, even with the times, a couple of weeks that passed by, we were still just able, that telepathy is real. I swear it is, that we were just able to check up, follow up with one another. I'm definitely glad that I brought you on here because this was not only a conversation that a lot of other people needed to hear, but I myself just needed to hear. So I'm definitely, following, making sure how to subscribe to the podcast after this. And we're locked in. I'm very excited for what you guys have coming. Very excited for what you guys already have out. I thank you guys a lot, for the value, for everything that you're really putting out there for the people. And I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. Definitely going to continue to follow up with you guys. Stay in tuned. And I appreciate you, for coming on here, taking some time out to really, bless the people with a lot of the gems that you gave today. So to everybody out there listening, let's keep pushing, let's keep progressing, let's keep growing, glowing, elevating, all of that, man, especially as we, come on the other side of the latter half of Black History Month. And let's really attack this year. Let's really just make it happen in all aspects and all endeavors. So this has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner.